Hi teachers, this is a basic introduction to how the spreadsheet works. Please feel free to contact us with any questions. So in this obviously very basic example, the students only got one coop completed during their initial trial of the simulation. It took them 10 seconds to build the wheels of the first car, because that is station one. And then it took them 12 seconds after they made their own changes to build the wheels in station one of the first car. So that is why the initial change in this first column is -2, because it got less efficient. That means it took them longer to build the first car that they made after they made their own changes. So the spreadsheet is just built on this portion as a basic subtraction. The initial minus the first revision, which is why it's a -2. And then in the same boat, that is why the change in the second column is 0, because it took them the same amount of time, 10 seconds, to build car number 1 when they tried to make revisions the second time, as it did in the initial challenge. So again, it's just simple subtraction, the initial minus the second revision time for them to build the wheels of car number 1. Of course, we know that every car won't be built at the same rate. So that is also why the bottom of each column represents an average time it took them to build each car at station number 1. So the bottom here, the bottom here represents the difference in the average time, which again, because we only have one car, so that's not much of an average, I know, but it's 10 seconds minus 12 seconds, which gave you a change of -2 because it's 2 seconds less efficient. So anything in these columns in green or blue, depending on who you're talking to, means that that's a bad thing because it got less efficient. And then any positive numbers in this column means that they built the next car more quickly. And these are in the same boat, the difference between the averages. So they can see whether or not their average cars were built more quickly or more slowly after they made revisions the first and second time. At the bottom of each model's spreadsheet, coupe and sedan and van, is this box, which we told students not to alter. And that's because the formulas are set up to total the amount of time it took them to build each car. So each of these cells represents the total amount of time it took them to build each car. So 87 represents the number of seconds it took to build the first car. So it added the amount of time it took for stations 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 to build car number 1. And if the rest of this were filled in, that would give them the amount of time it took to build each additional car. And then there's another average that shows the amount of average time it took them to build each coupe in the initial simulation. And there's also a column, of course, that represents the initial time it took them to build, on average, each car in their first revision, and the average amount of time it took them to build each car in the second revision. Then here it pulls from that sheet, and if the data is filled in, so car number 1, car number 2, car number 3, etc., it totals how many cars they actually built. So since in the example I gave, I only filled in one row of data, the spreadsheet assumes they only built one car in the initial test, then one car in the first revision, and then one car in the second revision. Once you get to the cost profit tab of that same spreadsheet, this is where it gets a little more complicated. So on the initial test run, we designed it to have one worker per building station, which is why there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 workers, and a quality control engineer and a supply station engineer, which is why there's a total of 8 employees. This part is automatically drawn from adding the total amount of time that the initial test run had station 1 working. And then, as I said in the previous video, these numbers should be the total amount of time for the simulation, because the quality engineer and the supply engineer have to be on staff for the entire duration of the run. So what the spreadsheet does is it multiplies. We've made a labor pay rate of $1 per minute, and we've already accounted for it being turned into seconds. So it basically multiplies the number of workers you have times the amount of time that they worked total, which gives you the total labor cost. Then it takes the total labor cost and divides it by the number of vehicles that were built. So again, since we only built one car, that's why the average is just the same, because we only built one car. And then the 318 is the amount of plastic bricks that were used under our initial specifications. So then the labor cost is added to the raw material cost to get the total cost of buying each car. Then that total cost per car is subtracted from the sales price of the car, which then gives the profit for each car. And then you'll see there's a box over to the side that multiplies the profit per car times the number of cars that were built, which is again why we only have $3.37 for profit, because we only built one car in the example we're providing. Please feel free to reach out if you have any other questions about the way the spreadsheet was built. We recommend that you freeze the formulas, but depending on your group of students, you might want to give them permission to change the formulas depending on their familiarity with Excel and yours too. But again, please feel free to reach out to us with any questions after this basic example.